Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If this is your first time joining me, hello, my name is Cassie and I share planner related videos like this Plan With Me here on my channel. I also share my health tracker, health journey, and my daily journal, some shop with me, some kit selection process, all the fun things here on my channel. So please make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more planner related content. So today I am using this beautiful kit from Sadies Stickers. This kit is called Bee, and obviously, if you can't tell by my planner name here, Sweet Like Honey Plans, I kind of love bees. So this one was an absolute must-have for me. And this is in her newest format. Yeah, this is the newest format. She hasn't updated since this one, which I really, really love. This format was so nice to plan with. You'll see when we get to the end how much of this kit I used, but I feel like it was like the perfect amount of things that I needed. So I'm really excited for this kit. I've been dying to get in and plan with this, and so I'm really excited that I finally got a chance to use it. Just showing you all the rest of it. I did pick up the journaling kit as well. I typically will get that one journaling page there because I like the torn paper. The rest of the journaling kit I usually get just in transparent for my daily journal and my health tracker. If you have followed me, if you follow me on Instagram or if you followed me on here, you've seen some of my videos that I've posted with my health tracker or my, pictures or any of that kind of stuff on Instagram. I do use a Paper Test Designs yearly and weekly. The weekly is my health tracker and the yearly is my daily journal. So I it's kind of like functional, but then I do a little bit of journaling in it as well. And I like to use transparent because those pages are just like really delicate, and I don't know, I feel like the transparent works. It doesn't like clutter it up as much. So I usually will get my journaling pages in transparent just for, using it with that. So for this planner, these inserts that I'm using are Sadies Stickers. So every year, they're still in her shop, but every year she does like the dated ones for the next year, or you can get the blank ones. You can also get them with monthly or without monthly. And I usually will get them without the monthly, but this year I got monthly in hopes of actually doing monthly spreads. But I have not done a single monthly spread yet, you guys. I'm just trying to get these weekly ones done. So yeah, maybe I'll go back and get monthlies done. I've seen Tay from Shantae Plans use a lot of like kit leftovers and things for her monthlies. And I really like that idea. I haven't picked up any monthly kits, but I like the idea of just using your extras and just getting super creative, because I feel like now, with the planning community, we've got our basic kit, but then there's so many add-ons right now that I don't obviously use every single piece on the add-on. So I still end up with a decent amount of leftovers from each kit. So it would be pretty easy to just create a monthly spread using some leftovers and then shopping my own stash of things. So I may try to go back and do that when I get caught up. But for right now, I just am trying to get caught up on my weeklies. But I really do love these inserts. They are such great quality. I mean, you'll see throughout this video, I can pick stickers up off of them really easily. I generally don't rip the paper. The only time I've ripped the paper is with those stinking tweezers that I have. I really like the angle and the fact that they're kind of sharp. I don't know, but they sometimes will perforate the paper if I'm not careful. So that's generally the only time I screw up my paper, because I can pick stickers up a million times on these inserts and they're just amazing. So and stickers peel up really easy. So if you don't have inserts, or you're if you're looking for new inserts, definitely check out Sadies Stickers and pick some up, because this is, I think, my third year buying inserts. I plan in an Aura Estelle A5 wide, so I need inserts for that type of planner. So I have two Aura Estelles. I probably need a third, because once I actually catch up, those things are going to be too thick for the 3 years of plans I have in them. But I really love the Aura Estelle A5 wide rings, so I will purchase another one. I have no intentions of changing this for next year as far as my planner lineup. I know it's July, and I feel like everybody, in July is like ready to look at next year. And I'm like over here going, whoa, slow down. It's July. I'm not ready to think about what I want to do for my planner stack next year. And I feel like everybody's posting what their planner stack is going to be. And I'm not ready for this, you guys. Comment below. Let me know. Are you like ready to go in July? Maybe next year I'll be mentally prepared. This is like what I've been in the planning community since I'm 2018. So 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, so I've been in the planner community for like 4.5 years, and I'm still not prepared when it comes to July. And this is not something new in our community, right? So maybe next year, maybe the 5th year will be the charm, and I'll be ready in July to think about the next year. But I'm just trying to survive this year, y'all. So let me know if do you already have your planner stack ready for next year? Do you know what you're doing? I really like what I have, so I don't think I'm going to change it up because I love my paper test designs. I have one for work. I have my, that's a yearly. I have the yearly for my daily journaling and functional type of stuff for home. And then I have my health tracker and the weekly. And I have my A5 wide rings for my memory planning. And that, I don't know. I'm happy with what I have. So I don't think I'm going to change it up. But let me know what your stack is. What are you doing for next year? Are you with me on like, I'm not ready for next year? Just let me know. I'd love to hear, where your brain's at. So, okay, let me jump into the date covers a little because we're getting closer to being done with these. So I did these date covers, and honestly, like when I first laid it down, I know I edited, why is that word so hard to say? I edited out the me kind of like picking up some of it because I almost took all of that up. I wanted to use these Panda Bird designs and gathered plans, like the gathered layers date strips. I feel like the florals that are on there kind of match like the watercolory floral vibe in this kit. And so I thought they would be perfect. And then I really love the idea of the transparent with the florals underneath it. But sometimes I feel like when I do that, like it's hard to see because you obviously don't see the foil until you hit it with a certain angle. And so I feel like it can look a little cluttered sometimes. So at first I was like, I am not loving this. I wasn't loving the bee I put up in the month section. Like it just felt like it was missing something. Looking at it, I still kind of feel like maybe it's missing something because all I did was like the transparent swatch instead of like an actual box or swatch. But you know what? Like I shared this a little bit on my Instagram when I was, I think I was sharing like the date covers or something, that I was watching Rachel from Gathered Plans. Like I was listening to her while I was planning. And it was after I had gone through this whole mental part of this. But she was like saying basically what was in my brain earlier, where I was like doing all this and I just wasn't loving it. And I was feeling kind of like, okay, I'm already screwing up this beautiful kit that I was so excited to use. And I don't love the date covers. What do I do? Do I just peel it all up? But then I don't have the florals. Like in my mind, I'm going through all these things of I just don't love what I'm doing. And I put so much pressure on myself, especially when it's a kit that like has bees in it, because I just want to do it justice and do it right. And I just put so much pressure on myself. So I had to like mentally tell myself, like, Cassie, you are not going to love every single spread. Like, it's not going to be my epic, most favorite everything. Like, the entire spread isn't going to be like, wow, that's my favorite thing. It's okay to do it and just like let it all out on paper, you know? And if you don't absolutely love it, it's fine. Like, there's going to be some spreads that are like that where it's not my idea of what a perfect spread would be. And just letting myself like loose from my own expectations. Let me know if you're like that. Do you put so much pressure on yourself? Like I literally will procrastinate starting a spread. And it's like, okay, Cassie, like this is your hobby. This is what you enjoy doing. Why are you procrastinating doing it? And it's because I'm putting pressure on myself. So I don't want to put pressure on myself to like have to have everything perfect all the time. It's something I struggle with just in general in life is like perfectionism. And I've come a long way, like with work and other areas in my life of being like, it doesn't have to be perfect all the time. But I really, really struggle with this. And I don't know what it is in me, but you know, we have good therapists for that. I have an amazing therapist. So I'll work through all of that and what it is that makes me feel like I have to have perfection in what I do. Like I just hold myself to such a high standard, which is really difficult because then I tend to hold others to the same high standard, which is not always fair. So working through all that. But anyway, that translates into my spreads and it translates into me procrastinating on doing spreads because I want it to be perfect. And if it can't be perfect, then I don't want to do it. So, side note, I did pull in a couple of these larger florals from my Olive Planner Co. journaling kit because I didn't have any of the large florals from Sadies Stickers and these were the same florals. So just little side note there. But anyway, yeah, this spread was another reminder for me of it doesn't have to be perfect. Just let it go. Kind of like coached myself through that mentally of just have fun with it, Cassie. Like it's fine if you don't love the date covers. You can still have fun with this. It's a bee kit. You're going to love it. Just go. And so I just started like, okay, I'm just going to do it. And so I shifted my thinking and just had so much fun with the spread. And it was so rewarding to get through that part of it, because there's been times where I've put so much pressure on myself. I've stopped doing my spread and like cried because I just want to enjoy my hobby. And I put so much pressure on that I like couldn't enjoy it, and I had to walk away from it. And then I cried because I hated that feeling. And so it was really rewarding to make it through this and not just give up and quit, because I was ready to just put it down and be like, forget this, I can't do it, and walk away from it for a minute. Well, and by a minute, it turns into like weeks. So yeah, I was really happy that I made it through it. So anyway, date cover area was Panama Designs, the gathered layers date covers with the Sadie Stickers floral strip underneath it. And then I did pull in deco from Sadies Stickers. I have the bees and then those tiny little they're not even clusters, they're just the little dots. And then some honeycomb stickers. And then I also pulled in some alcohol ink swatches. Those are also Sadie Stickers. This is a very Sadie Sticker spread, but I really like those to add a wash of color. And then up in the month section, that little like bee mandala, whatever you want to call it, that thing is from Letters to Apollo. And I've had that for years. I did bring in some glossy into the spread because I've had some glossy bee stuff forever, and I was like, I'm using it, I don't care. So I do have some glossy in here, which is another thing I had to like let go of in my brain. So this was a lot of like mental coaching for me and coaching myself through it. So, but it came out beautiful, and I really, really love how the spread came out. So I'm so happy that I made it through that. Sidebar wise, that giant script there is from Paper Trail Plans. I need to go order some more of those because I'm obsessed. I'm really loving these sideways. What is this sidebar? Like the horizontal sidebar, I guess. Yeah, I'm just loving them, and I need more big mugs. Jess from Lustrous Plans, who is one of the owners of Paper Trail Plans, she does a lot of these sideways or horizontal sidebars, and so she's a big inspiration for that. I've also, seen a lot of planner people do it. I feel like it's becoming like a trend in the community, and I'm really loving it. I did put more alcohol ink swatches from Sadies Stickers. Little plug there. She has alcohol ink swatches in 12. It's like the 12 colorways that she has. You guys, those are like the best basics investment that I've made in a while. If you are somebody who likes to have little washes of color and you're wanting to try alcohol ink swatches, definitely go raid her stash over on her shop and get some, because they're so good. I have not had a kit so far, whether it's Sadie Stickers or otherwise, that I don't have something that matches from my Sadie Stickers alcohol ink collection. So just a little plug for that. And then I did take some more of the honeycomb little pieces and layer those underneath the florals and added some little bee deco. Just, it was a very simple sidebar in a lot of ways, but I really, really love it. And then I am lining it with the dainty washi strips. I believe, yeah, those are the, what did she call them? Bee line, I think, or something. They're the ones from Sadie Stickers. They're like the dashed bee. It looks like a little like bee trail. I saw Jen from Home Eunice Plans line her sidebar. I'm sure other people have too, but she was the first one that really like stuck out to me when I saw it. And I was like, okay, I'm forever going to have to line my sidebar now. It's just going to have to be a thing. So I am obsessed. I actually was watching one of her videos, I think, too. So I had created like a playlist on YouTube for Sadie Stickers. So if you don't follow me on Instagram and you're not aware, I am doing a spread the love, I don't know, you guys, you could call it a campaign, whatever. But I'm doing this spread the love thing for the next, I think it's 6 or 7 weeks. I have to look and see like how many shops I have lined up, but I think it's through the end of August that I have shops lined up. And basically what we're doing, this idea, I was texting with one of our shop owners in our community and, knew she was going through some stuff. And I was trying to figure out how do I best support, our shop owners, because it's really easy, I think, for us on the other side who aren't shop owners to like glamorize what they're doing, right? And like not realize how many issues they have getting things to print and getting their equipment to work, and sometimes having mental blocks with creativity or releases don't go as planned. Like there's so many things that go into being a shop owner that we don't really see. We just see all the good stuff on the other side of it, right? So kind of having a glimpse into that, I talked to a few shop owners in this community, and I've kind of had a glimpse over several months of like the struggles that go on and the difficulties and how this isn't as easy as maybe it looks like it is on Instagram. So I really was like, how do we as a community support our shop owners and show them our appreciation and love? And this idea just kind of like tumbled all together in my brain, and it just kept evolving, and I was so excited. So basically what we're doing is focusing on a shop a week and spotlighting them. So it's called my weekly Spread the Love Spotlight. So weekly spread is what we do. So I thought that was kind of a fun play on words. And then spread the love, because we're all sharing each other's posts and spreads and whatever. So for that week, we are like right now, we're in week 2 right now, and we're focusing when I'm filming this, or I'm sorry, when I'm doing my voiceover. When I'm filming this, it was Sadies Stickers week. So we focused on Sadies Stickers last week, and then this week we're focusing on Letters to Apollo. Next week is Hello Petite Paper. That's all I've revealed so far, so I'm not going to say anything else. But I do have some other really great shops lined up as well. So each week we're focusing on a shop and just showering them with love. So sending them notes, messages, orders, sharing not just your own spreads or things that you've, used their products in, but also looking for other people in the community. So that way we're also building each other up in the community of finding new people. Like I've just been looking up hashtag whatever the shop is and finding people that are using their products that I don't already follow and that I don't know. And so then it gives me a new person to follow, and just kind of spreads all of our creativity, sharing their spreads. Maybe we're all going to gain some more followers out of it. Not necessarily my intent, but more just so we can spread the love and creativity amongst our community and shower these shop owners with some love and support and appreciation, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do these things that we do. And it's easy to take that for granted when we're not in their world. And so, yeah, I'm just super excited about doing this. It's a lot of work as I'm finding just week 2. And I feel like, oh my God, is this community sick of me yet? Because holy crap, I'm kind of sick of me. Yeah, let me know if you're following me on Instagram. If you're joining in on Spread the Love, I would love to hear from you. Let me know your handle there, so I can follow you over there as well and check out your stuff. But basically, if you're not following me there, if you don't know what's going on with the giveaways, each week there's a giveaway from that shop. Each of these shop owners has generously donated some shop credit to this fun event. So we're doing giveaways throughout the whole week. It'll be, you can enter to win by sharing either you or somebody else using that shop's products. And then, hashtagging Spread the Love. You don't have to hashtag it, but you can. But tagging myself and the shop owner, and then that will get you entered to win the giveaway. The giveaway ends every Saturday at midnight Eastern Standard Time. And then on Sunday, I will do the drawing. So this is not sponsored by YouTube or Instagram or any of that. Our shop owners are generously donating some shop credit as the prizes, but that's it. There is no sponsorship going on outside of that. So just as a disclaimer. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm enjoying being able to, be some light and positivity in a world that can be kind of just harsh right now sometimes, I feel like. So yeah, let's jump into the spread. Enough about Spread the Love. Let's jump into spread for a little bit. So I did a little bit of something different. So since I did the horizontal sidebar, I typically will put a box in the sidebar, but I obviously didn't do that. So I had a couple extra boxes to play with, and I really loved all of the scenes in here, and I didn't want to omit any of those. Didn't want to omit the 2 different like quote boxes. So I was like, how do I incorporate these florals? Like maybe I can do something different. So I did do like a, I don't know, like very playful, like sideways, tilted box spread. I don't think I filmed it. It was on my newest addiction. Yeah, I didn't film it. It was the week my niece was born in February of 21. No, just kidding. 22. She turned a year this year. So I did a fun one where I tilted like all in the middle, did tilted boxes, but I've never done one like this. Well, actually, maybe I did. Maybe this is the second time. I don't know. But I've done tilted boxes before at any rate. But I decided I would kind of layer them behind the other boxes just as like a fun, playful sideways thing. I don't know. And then when I've done this before, I always line the boxes. And so this time I lined them with the same B, like dashed, I don't know if it's called B or whatever. All my stuff's put away. I'm staring at the spread, but I don't have the actual sticker sheets, but it's like the dashed divider. So I wanted to mimic what I did in the sidebar and use that same dash divider. So I did that to line the diagonal, sideways, whatever you want to call them, boxes, just to give it a little bit more like dimension. I don't know. Definition, I think is the word I'm looking for. Sorry guys. Sometimes when I'm like doing this, it's just a lot of talking and my brain starts like, I don't know, spazzing out a little. So, okay. So yeah, I'm lining both of those with the dash line divider. And I usually, once I'm done with the boxes, is when I will go in and put in like the dividers that I want to use to frame the boxes. So I did that as well. And I used in the middle two boxes there, I used those, well, not middle. Yeah, I guess they're the middle row and the two middle of that row. I used the floral dividers from Sadies Stickers that, again, I feel like the florals in there are very similar in like the wispiness, like the watercolor kind of look, like the gathered layers ones were. So I feel like those all went together really well. So I brought those in, and then I did I didn't like how it looked with just that in the box. So I added in, I think that is a Dash of Sun. I'm pretty sure that's a Dash of Sun line divider right there that I did, like just the plain gold. And I kind of thought it looked almost like a crown. And like, there's bees and queen bee, whatever. So I thought that it kind of almost looked like a crown on those two boxes, the way that I did it. And I really like how that looked and how that, like, just kind of the vibe of that with it being a bee kit and it's over the bee box. So I don't know. I did it on the two boxes that have like the, not clip art, but whatever they are, kind of bees. So I really liked how that came out. And then the other boxes, I used some tiny little dainty scallop dividers from Monk & Marple. I absolutely adore her dividers. They are super dainty. I pull them into every spread, different kinds of them, but I love Monk & Marple stuff. So if you haven't checked out her shop yet, please go check her shop out. She has so many good dainty like deco and dividers, and I just love it. Her foiling is perfection. So yeah, she's some of my favorite, like functional things to pull in. So make sure you check it out, little plug. But let's see here. Where are we at in the spread? Oh, those little bee dividers, those are really old Sadie stickers. Like I'm talking probably 2019, you guys. Those are definitely glossy because transparent was not around. But I did layer that underneath the two outside boxes in the middle row, underneath the scallop. I just thought that was kind of fun to add in a little bit more of the honeycomb look and vibe to the bee kit. So, okay, Monday, the other thing I did, I don't think it's not on there yet. You'll see. I didn't have any real room to put the dates, like the actual date dots, because I felt like with the foil in that strip there, they just wouldn't go. They'd get lost. And I really wanted to use, again, like 2019 Sadie Stickers year, taking it way back. But I had the like honeycomb date dots, and so I wanted to use those. So you'll see I add those into the top of each box, or each day, underneath the date there. So I don't know, just something a little bit different. But Monday, okay, so this is the week of May 15th. Monday I had work, so I used a swatch from the kit, just like it wasn't a transparent, just a swatch from the kit with a Crafts by Towie computer icon. And what else did I use there? I used a divider underneath just to kind of like separate that and add a little bit more dimension. I really liked like the honeycomb looking divider, and it matched the bottom washi, so I wanted to bring that in, so I pulled it in there. And then this was a little bit tricky to plan around with this, box kind of in the middle. But I had gotten some Happy Mail for my newest addiction that day. It was a nice big order. I do PR for her team, so I got my PR order in, and I used an icon from White Deer Stationery, added one of the little bows from my newest addiction. She has a really great bow sampler sheet, and I love pulling those into my White Deer Stationery icons. So definitely check that out if you're looking for something to add a little bit of foil to those. And then I just used another little alcohol ink swatch underneath so that I could write on that for my Happy Mail. And then I don't think I brought in any deco yet, but I did bring in some deco there. And then underneath that, so that Monday night we had the fall sports banquet. So it was the football banquet for my son, Manny. He plays football at his school, and I know it was May, but it was literally for the year before, like the fall. I think because it was their first year as a school, like things just took way longer than they probably should have. And they don't really have, I don't think, their auditorium ready yet. So they had it in like the cafeteria. It was really hard to hear anything. We had like the whole football team sitting behind us too. And they were just like, they were so cute because they were like cheering for like the volleyball players and everybody else when they'd get their awards. But they were also chatty. And so I just couldn't hear anything, but it was good anyway. So we had his football banquet. I used a little square from the kit and then layered a paper trail plans. It was their collab with Plan Mosh Plan with Lauren. I pulled in a little square just to add some foil. And then behind that, I used a little torn paper from the journaling page as well from Sadies Stickers. Used a Crafts by Towie football icon, which I need to go order more of because I am out of the right direction at this point. And then when I got home, I make these like keto cookies. If you've ever had like oatmeal no bakes, let me know if you've had those. But those are like, I love those cookies, but doing like keto, my husband and I pretty much eat a keto lifestyle. So we kind of alternate between keto and like going back to just like Mediterranean kind of, regular healthy stuff. But we're both in weight loss mode right now. So we're doing keto. So I make these cookies with shredded coconut, and it's like shredded coconut, and I use cacao powder and like a natural peanut butter. And I add in some Swerve, which is like erythritol base, so I can have a little bit of sweetener. And then it's got a couple other things, but you basically make them into like no bake cookies and freeze them. And then my husband, had to level up the recipe and was like, why don't we make like an icing for the top of it and then put some like Himalayan pink sea salt on it. So that's what we make. So it's like a salty sweet treat. And so I generally will have those in my freezer as my like rescue me when I feel like I have a craving and I'm about to make a bad decision. So I needed to make some more of those. So I just used a cookie sheet icon from White Deer Stationery as well, and used a little swatch from Sadies Stickers with some florals from the kit, and wrote made cookies. And then on Tuesday, rather than writing work again, I just left that one blank because I had 2 meetings that day. I don't exactly remember what meetings they were, but I had a couple meetings with people from my team. So I pulled in the little clipboard icon from White Deer Stationery for that, and layered that. So I used a a circle for the ink swatch kind of circle, and layered over one of the little circle fancy boxes from the kit, and then put the icon over it, put some florals underneath it, and use that honeycomb over it because I just wanted to mimic the date cover a little bit there. Even though the date cover wasn't my favorite, I was like, we're going to roll with it. And then I used another box from the kit, and I did it vertically instead because I didn't have a ton of room right there with that box in the way. But I just ended up layering an icon over the box, and I like how it came out. It came out decent. And then did I already? Yeah. That little like garland on top there, that is from Panda Bird Design as well. Those are similar florals to what was in the date covers and the Sadie sticker stuff. So I brought that in just to decorate a little bit more for that box and create some definition, since I did use it vertically and it's not meant to be used that way. I really like how that came out. And then Ellie had a doctor's appointment, but I don't have any like doctor appointment icons, like stethoscopes. Need to order them. So I just brought in the chiropractic table because I felt like that's close enough, right? Like they have tables, so it works. But she is getting ready to leave for college, so we had to get her like physical and all that stuff to send into the school because she hasn't had one in a while. So we went and did that. And then underneath that, so this was like a Good Samaritan moment where I felt like the Lord put me in the right place at the right time. So after her appointment, she wanted to go to her boyfriend's house, and she was like picking something up or whatever. And so I took a different route through his neighborhood than I normally would have because we were coming from her appointment. And I almost wasn't going to take her over there because I was like, I have to go to Bible study and I just need to go home. But I was like, all right, fine, I'll take you over there. And as we were pulling into the neighborhood, and in the part that I don't normally go through because there's a million speed bumps that direction, I noticed there's like this boy, and I saw him on a skateboard, and then all of a sudden I see him sitting down and he's like waving at me. And I was like, does this child need me to pull over? Like, what is going on? He was probably like, I don't know, 12, 13, 14, somewhere in that range. So I pulled over and rolled my window down, and I was like, hey, do you need help? And he's like, I think I just broke my wrist. So this poor boy, he, was all by himself skateboarding, and he like did a flip or whatever and fell. And I could see I got out of the car. I was like, okay, hang on. And I parked the car and got over, and his wrist, definitely something was wrong. You could just see it. And I was like, oh, this poor kid. You could tell he was just like wincing in pain. So I was like, okay, like, do you have a phone on you? Like, do you live in the neighborhood? So I helped him get his phone out of his pocket because he couldn't even like reach in his pocket. And then he called his sister who was home, and, I was like, hey, I'm just a mom, just a mom who stopped. I can help him, because they lived like further into the neighborhood. Some of our neighborhoods around here can be pretty deep and intense. So I was like, listen, if you're okay with it, like, I've got my daughter with me too. Like, I'll throw him in the car and I'll bring him to your house. So, because I was like, do you need me to take you to the emergency room? Like, what do we have to do for this kid right now, Because I was like, are your mom and dad around? He's like, no, they're at work, but my sister's home. So I called them, and she had, the cutest little baby. Oh my gosh. But she's like, I got to get the baby ready. And so I was like, all right, give me the baby. So like, I don't even know these people, you guys. But I'm just like, all right, you get in the car, like, give me the baby. You can get him, like we were trying to coordinate once I got him to his house. And I still don't know what happened because I don't know them, but I was just thankful. I felt like, the Lord allowed me to be in that place, go through that part of the neighborhood so that I could help this poor kid. Because, like, I don't know, would anybody else have stopped? Like, I mean, I'm sure somebody eventually, but this poor kid was just in so much pain. He's like, let's go right now. And I was like, go to the urgent care. They can x-ray him before you go waste all your time in the emergency room. But yeah, his sister was like, young 20s probably, if that. And so she was like, trying to get him in the car. She's like, oh my gosh, what do we do? And I was like, do you need a mom to go with you? Like, do you need help? But I don't know. They made it. Hopefully he didn't break it, but it definitely was at least dislocated because you could see it. And yeah, so that was my adventure on Tuesday. And then I did have Bible study and I made it on time and everything, even after all that. So I didn't really have an icon for helping this boy. It's like, what do I use for this? If I had like a cast or something, that would have been fun, but I don't have anything like that in my icon stash. So I just didn't use an icon. I just used so the box that I used for that, I know I'm way behind here, guys. I'm still on Tuesday. The box that I used was from the Gathered Plans. So Rachel and Sadies Stickers did like a MIDI collection and they had a B sheet. And of course I had to buy that one. So I used that and then I cut up a header behind her, a couple headers, like the floral headers, and use that to kind of create like a fancy box. And then use the little washi tape looking swatch behind it just to add, again, more dimension. And then underneath that for Bible study, I used a White Deer Stationery icon with a My Newest Addiction bow. All right, let's go into Wednesday. So Wednesday, work, of course. Maybe someday I won't mark work in my planner, but for now I am. After work, I was supposed to go to my husband's baseball game, but my son's tux for his prom was in, and you have to go like pick it up in order to, see if it fits, because if we get to Friday where I'm picking it up, or Saturday, whatever, for prom, and it doesn't fit, then I don't have time to turn around and get have them redo it. So I was like, all right, we got to switch gears. I have to go take Manny to pick up his tux at the mall and then miss my husband's game. So I was a little sad I had to miss his game, but the boys were late out of football practice anyway. So it was like, let's just do this. So took him, got his tux. I'll see if I can remember here to put a picture in. I'll drop a picture in if I can remember of him in his tux, but he was so handsome. And yeah, it was just one of those like, oh my gosh, like he's my third and how are we here where he's at prom, So anyway, I didn't really have an icon for that, but I found this cute little like wardrobe bag on a sampler from White Deer Stationery and it was perfect. So I used that and used a little bit of a Monk and Marple divider on the side just to add a little bit of like, the scallop there, add some foil, and then I put a little bow from Sadies Stickers in the middle. And then underneath that, I marked, so my boys, okay, they like to leave their window open in their room. And even though it's like hot as all get out here in North Carolina, they will leave their window open. And they don't have a screen in the one window. It was not here when we moved in, and we have not replaced it. We replaced one of them, but not the other one. And of course, they opened the window with no screen. And somehow there was a wasp nest in their room. Like this wasp, I can't say that, must have been there for a while because it created a nest, and they found this nest up in their room, like behind the blinds, so they like couldn't see it. So they were freaking out. Manny had an allergic reaction one time to a wasp. I don't know if he's actually allergic, but like his face kind of got swollen when he got stung, and then he panicked and freaked out, and so that made it worse. So it's hard to know, is he really allergic or was it just because he panicked? But anyway, he's terrified of wasps, and I don't blame him because they are nasty. I love bees, but wasps, they can take a hike, and I can't say that word anymore. Anyway, so I just used a little bee from my freebie from Dash of Sun. She's no longer open right now. I think she's going to plan on opening early next year, reopening, but she had a baby, and so she took some time off. But my sampler had a bunch of bees on it for the summertime when I was on her PR team, and so I wanted a bee, but I want it to be more like an icon because I don't have any wasp icons because who would have that? Why? But I wanted to use that to mark that the boys had a wasp nest in their room because that was an adventure of getting that out. So I used a little like torn paper thing from the kit and a little like, I don't know what it was, like a little swash of color thing behind it. And I really like how that came out with some floral underneath. And then underneath that, I pulled in a box from the kit and I cut up a little MIDI box because it didn't quite fit. So I cut up a little MIDI box to fit on top of the little fancy box. Or it's not fancy box, it's just a smaller MIDI box. And I pulled in an icon from White Deer Stationery just to mark that we said goodbye to my daughter's boyfriend. He moved out to Wyoming to finish his schooling, and he was leaving the next morning. So he came by so we could all say goodbye to him. We absolutely love him. He's such a sweetheart, and they're like the cutest little thing ever. And I'm sure they will get married someday. It would not surprise me. They met on their school trip. So like they didn't really know each other. He was a grade ahead of her in school, but both of them went on this tour. It was like an education first. I don't know if you're familiar with that at all, but it's like a group that does like school trips and stuff. And so my daughter had wanted to go on this trip it was to Italy and Germany and Austria, and she spent her 16th birthday in Rome, which was so cool. I have never been out of the country besides Canada, but my daughter was there. So on that trip, they didn't know each other at all, but they met when they were on this trip. And so it was just really cool that they met. Like they have this really cool life experience that they shared together before they were even like a thing. And then they've been together basically since they got back. So, and that was in 2019. So it's been a long time. So it's kind of sad that he's not around because they're always together, whether they're here or at his house, they're always together. So happy that they're both pursuing their thing. She's going off to college and he's off finishing his welding program in Wyoming now. So really cool, but it was kind of sad, like bittersweet, like yay for your adventure, but sad you're leaving. So that was Wednesday night, and I am already through Thursday. No, I'm working on Thursday now. All right, we're getting caught up. Okay, so let's see. Lots been going on in my life, so I guess that explains why I'm talking so much. Okay, so on Thursday, I kind of mimicked what I did on Tuesday, where I used the circular like inks, alcohol ink kind of swatch, whatever, transparent swatch. And then where did I get that from? I think it's Pretty Pink Co. The little thing that I put on the outside edge of that, that's Pretty Pink Co. It's like a little arch, and I love those. And then I used the circle from the kit or like the fancy circle, and then used a circle from Paper Trail Plans from that collab they did with Lauren, and just to add some foil. I absolutely love doing that to these fancy boxes. It's my favorite, and I need to go order some more of those from Paper Trail Plans. They are doing, so today is June 29th. Next weekend, so August 4th weekend, they are doing custom script weekend. So I will definitely be doing that. And getting some more custom scripts and things, and I will pick up some more of these layered like boxes and circles and stuff when I do that, because I am running low on some of the sizes I need. So anyway, plug for that. Make sure you shop next weekend. I used another clipboard from White Deer Stationery, and then did the same floral and like little beehive technique underneath just to make it symmetrical to the other side. And then underneath I pulled in just a regular box from the kit and a little laundry icon. I believe that is Crafts by Towie. I don't see the like bow, but I think she's not been doing the bows as much. But that is a little icon from Crafts by Towie. And then I took a little bee with a bee trowel and put that on top of it. And I absolutely love that. I thought it came out so stinking cute. You can kind of see it there. But I really loved that. And then underneath I used a Monk and Marble divider. Again, another one of those little dainty ones. Absolutely adore those. And I wanted something to create like a little bit of separation, because underneath I wasn't doing like a box. So I did another alcohol ink swatch, and wait, where am I? Yeah, I did an alcohol ink swatch. Okay, I can't see it. And then I just used the foiled oval, and that's also from Paper Trail Plans. And then put the floral over it. And did I pull in the icon yet? Nope, I used the torn paper underneath the like alcohol ink swatch thing, and I did that so that I could mark watching Ted Lasso. I don't know if you guys watch that show. Let me know if anybody's watched that. But I wanted to use that to mark that I watched that with my husband. I think originally I was going to use like a TV icon, so I wanted to have like a bigger space there. But then I realized that I didn't really have a non-foiled TV icon. So in this spread, I did, so each row and each column, well, not row, sorry, each column, well, kind of each row, yeah. I did like every other icon was either White Deer Stationery or a foiled icon. So I did like foiled, non-foiled, all the way like up and down, and then across as well. And so I wanted to keep up with that, so that meant I couldn't use my foiled TV. So I just kind of switched things up a little bit. And I had like a little bit of a space in between the two. Like that space was not quite big enough for 3 like full things, but it was too big for just 2. So I marked at the top, I brought in the dirty dishes from White Deer Stationery and marked that I cleaned my kitchen. And then I brought in the Instagram icon from Crafts by Towie and just did like a tiny little paint swatch thing there to mark that I did an Instagram post. And then underneath I used that torn paper to mark that we watched Ted Lasso. There's that bow sampler from my newest addiction. I love that sampler because there's so many different bows, you guys. So like any icon or anything I'm doing, I can find a bow that will work with it. So yeah, I just love it. Anyway, sorry, shameless plug for my newest addiction. There's the glossy date dots. See all that gloss? Oof, yeah, but it's okay because they match. So I'm just going to use the things in my stash. But yeah, so I love what I did with that torn paper too, where I marked the TV. I brought in the honeycomb underneath it. So I know how like Danny from Danny with a Planny, created like the floral torn strips to go underneath the torn paper. And I love that so much. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring in some honeycomb underneath it and make that kind of like that. So I did that under that little torn grid paper there. All right. That is it for Thursday. So Friday that week, I did have to go into work. I don't know. I must not have gone forever because, well, not forever, but like usually we work 8 to 2 on Fridays. But I also took my daughter to work, and usually she works a little bit earlier. Maybe I left and came back. Sometimes I'll have to do that. But for work, I just use a box from the kit, and then I use the dash divider again, trying to keep that like same theme flowing throughout the spread. And I use that at the top to give it a little bit of like foil, and then use some florals from the kit, the same header that I used on the other one, like on the other side, with that like honeycomb kind of like print underneath it, and the Crafts by Towie icon. I am out of the icon going the right direction for that, so I cut the bow off of it so that it wasn't obvious that it was the wrong direction. Although if you look, the coffee cup is on the left, not the right, but it's fine. I still did it. And then underneath, I used another little midi box from the kit with the floral like swatch box behind it, just to layer that with a White Deer Stationery icon to mark. Oh, I'm not there yet. All right, I'm still going on the work. Okay, look I actually got ahead now. That's exciting. Oh, and I finally pulled in the work scripts. So those work scripts are from Paper Trail Plans. I am out of those now. I have to buy more. I learned this trick from Rachel from Gathered Plans, and I am so thankful that she mentioned this because sometimes I think like we watch each other's spreads and we don't pay attention to like the details of what they're doing. But she mentioned that she typically buys her scripts in black because you're writing in black. And I don't know why that had never dawned on me before, but like I do still have some foiled scripts, and I think foiling things like holidays and birthdays and stuff like that makes sense to me because it's a little bit more like exciting. But things that I would normally write in, it makes sense to just have black, and then it's so much cheaper too because I'm not buying all the foil colors. So I just love that. I'm gonna need to pick up like 4 sheets of these work ones because they're my favorite from Paper Trail Plans. Okay. I'm kind of caught back up there. So yeah, I used the White Deer Stationery cart with a bow for my newest addiction, added some honeycomb behind it. One of the things that I've noticed when I'm planning, when I have a non-foiled icon, I really want a foiled something to add behind the non-foiled icon. Let me know if you run into that too, but I feel like I don't even know what that would look like as far as in the community. Like I'm just pulling in deco pieces, and I think that works just fine. But you know how we have like non-foiled, sometimes there's like the little shapes and stuff in the kit. Like it's just nice having something foiled that I can put behind it. I don't know, it'd be nice to have something like that, but I feel like that's what deco's for. So I feel like we already have that, and maybe it's not as much of a need as I think. But anyway, I added another little bee up top too because I just added all these tiny bees everywhere throughout the spread, and I love it. And then underneath that, I had to pull in an icon for football that's going the wrong direction, you guys. I'm out of the, what would it be, the right facing, left facing, whatever, left facing football helmets from Crafts by Towie, but I did not want to screw up my every other foiled, non-foiled thing I had going. So I just used a football icon going the wrong way. I did the same thing. I pulled in one of those boxes from the collab that Sadies Stickers and Gathered Plans did with the little bees, and I made a little box for behind it out of the floral headers, and then used that icon from Crafts by Towie. And then what else? Oh, I pulled in underneath, I think that's what I'm doing right now, that little glossy, shame, but the glossy honeycomb header underneath there, because it is like a nice straight thing to separate the two sections. And then underneath that, I'm pulling in another little transparent swatch and some florals. And then, yeah, I'm not there yet. So I guess I'll talk about what this is for, because this was kind of fun. So that night, so my husband, he does physical therapy and he does like home health care and he works with kids. He used to work with geriatric and he's actually going back to geriatric now. He's kind of doing both. But some of the guys in his Bible study are involved in this company called Made for Me. And the company basically makes equipment and like furniture and things like that for children with disabilities. And they make it out of this really thick recycled cardboard. Like it can hold hundreds and hundreds of pounds. It's crazy. But it's a nonprofit and they do all of this, like basically just donation based, and they help children, have the ability to like sit with their family at the dinner table, but with whatever they need for their special needs. And so he got involved with this because they were like, oh, you do physical therapy for children. Like you can advise us on these things and help us out. And so he joined the board of this nonprofit called Made for Me. And now he's the vice president of the board. That escalated quickly. But he helped put on this event. They did it at Marbles, which is a little kids museum downtown Raleigh. And it was just so cool. They did a superhero theme. And so the kids could come and dress up like as superheroes. They hired actual like people who do superhero stuff to come so they could take pictures with the kids. They had like really good food. My husband was in charge of like the catering and getting like the donations, or like, not donations because they had to pay for it, but like getting good deals on things and all of that. But he worked so hard on this event with them. The whole team did. And it was such a cool event for these children, like to get to come out, and they got to play in the museum. So like they had the whole one section. And I actually got to meet some of his patients, which was so cool. And, and their parents, because like he invests himself in these kids. Like he cares about their success, and, some of them have to get surgeries and different things. And so he's just very involved in their lives, and it's just really cool. The really cool thing, I have to say, if you are a follower of Christ at all and you understand this side of things, but when we were seniors in high school, the church we were going to did like a senior prophecy night. And one of his prophecies was that he was going to be a father to many, some that weren't even his own, which is still makes me tear up thinking about it, because like he's literally had some of these kids ask him to be their dad, which is funny, especially because they had a dad, but it was funny. He's just really good with kids, and he gets to like go out and bless these families every day by helping their children, get better and be able to function and live, a better life. And so I just think it's really cool that that was spoken over him so many years ago. I mean, hello, we're like 40. Well, he just turned 40. And that was in his senior year. And, I've seen it in so many ways in his life just come to be fulfilled. And so seeing him, with these kids and just doing this whole event, and it was just really cool. So I got to go and I brought the boys and we got to meet some of the families, and they got to meet, our family, and it was just really cool. So I didn't really know what in the world to use to mark that. So I just pulled in these little champagne glasses, and then I love what I did with those. I don't know if you can see it in here. Look for it when I do my pan over at the end. But I pulled in those individual dots from Sadies Stickers, and then some of the little dot clusters to make it look like little champagne bubbles that were foiled in the glasses. And I just thought that was so cute. Sometimes I get excited about the things I come up with. That was one of them. So anyway, super fun Friday night. And then on Saturday, my son had a dentist appointment at the office I work at. I had noticed, I think it was either that morning or the day before, I was like, oh, there's an opening, and there's never openings on Saturdays, and we weren't able to fill it. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to take my son in. He needs an appointment anyway. So I love the little dental tools icons. Those are from Paper Muse Crafts, and those are some of my favorite. I absolutely love them, and I got to use it. So it's exciting. I did the same kind of thing. I pulled in that one little swatch box with the gold foil on and did it vertically. And then I put the date down there because I had a full box up top. And then underneath that, I pulled in that oval fancy box that already had floral attached to it and used a white deer stationery icon to mark that we took Manny to get his hair cut. He had prom, which is what I marked underneath, so he wanted to get his hair all fresh. So I did that, and I used a cute little bee trowel to separate those two sections. And then I used a box from the kit to mark that it was his prom. I didn't know what to use icon-wise, so I pulled in like the bouquet of florals from, where is that one from? I think that's my newest addiction, or is that Crafts by Towie? I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it's Crafts by Towie. And then I pulled in just some little heart deco that I had from like Valentine's stuff to mark just, it's prom, and he took his girlfriend, and it's so cute, whatever. Anyway, so I did that, and then underneath that, I used another Monk and Marble divider to separate that section. And then underneath that, I used just a little torn paper, but I didn't want it to be as long as it was. So I cut that and then put a fancy box over it with another one of the boxes from Paper Trail Plans. And I brought in, so I wasn't sure how to mark this. The icon is from White Deer Stationery, and it looks like a little phone with an audiobook. I think it's supposed to be for an audiobook, but I signed up. Something I've been debating on for a really long time and wanting to do, and I finally just bit the bullet, which is what I should be doing right now. Instead, I'm doing a voiceover. But I signed up for a health coach training program. So super exciting. I have been wanting to do this. If you watch my other videos, you'll see I've been on a long health journey over the years and have learned a lot, and I'm very passionate about it. And I would love to be able to just know more so that I can help people. One of my goals long-term wise is to, we want to buy a house with some land so that I can build, not me personally, we can have built little like granny pod, like small homes on our land for my husband's parents and then my mom and dad. As they age, if they would like to move, even if they want to just come here for winters, whatever, I want to be able to have a space, or if it's my adult children who need somewhere to be for a while, I want to have little places where I can bless others. Maybe it's people from my community or my church that need somewhere to be. I want to have little homes for that. And part of that, as my parents age, is I want to be able to know more about nutrition and how to help them heal through natural remedies if possible, and all of that kind of stuff, like just overall health. And so that's something that I just keep talking about, and it's something that I want to do. And I'm like, you know what? Part of that is getting the education and understanding how the body works a little bit more, like on a deeper level. So I don't know, I think this popped up on my Instagram probably, but the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, it is very like functional medicine focused, which is what I absolutely adore. It's very root cause focused and based, and it's just fascinating to me. So I finally bit the bullet, you guys. I haven't really talked about this much. I haven't shared it much with a ton of people in my life. It's something I've kind of been doing on the down low here, but I am, by next year, it's a year-long program. By next year, I will be certified as a health coach, and will be able to help others through that. And so I'm super excited. So I use that to mark that I signed up for that course, mainly because a lot of it, I'm doing it on my phone. So I was like, that icon seems to fit. So that was Saturday. And then that night we started watching a new show called Silo. I've mentioned it, I think, before in my other plan with me, because my last plan with me, I'm out of order here, guys. My last plan with me was, I think, for sometime in June or something, and this one is May. But we started Silo on that night, and that TV icon I pulled in is from Paper Muse Crafts. Love her icons. I'm sad that her shop is closed right now. I don't know if she'll be back, but I hope she does, even if it's just for icons. Like, I absolutely adore her icons. They're so good. Okay, then Sunday. So Sunday, we did church in the morning. I pulled in an icon from White Deer Stationery. Also need to stock up on those. My Bible icons are getting very low. Oh my gosh, I didn't write in this next section. I just realized, and I've already done the pan over for this. Maybe I need to redo that. I pulled in a little icon from Paper Muse Crafts with a fork and a spoon. I don't know what I was marking there. I think I went to my favorite little vegan cafe called Earth to Us. That's what I'm marking right there. It was such a tiny space. I wasn't sure what in the world to put in there, but we did go to Earth to Us, because either that or I went to Diced. I don't know. I went to one of the two places because my husband had 2 baseball games that afternoon. So I was like, I have got to get some food in me, and we did not have time to make anything. So I used that to mark that I went out to eat somewhere. I'll have to reference my journal and see where I went, and then write that in there. I may just leave my plan with me the way it is, and you might not see what I actually wrote. Sorry about that. It'll make it to my pictures on Instagram. How about that? But it might not make it in here. So we'll see how I'm feeling, but I feel like I'm just going to leave it. You guys can hear it in here, right? This is real life. Sometimes things get missed. And then underneath that, like I just wanted to pull in a little bit more of the color. So I brought in some more of the green in there, and then pulled in a little bit more honeycomb. And then, yeah, pulled in a couple things honeycomb, it looks like. And then I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing next, it looks like. Okay, so like I said, my husband had not one, but two baseball games, and they were like in the afternoon. So it was a late day for us with two baseball games. I kind of did something fun. So I had this stamp and I wanted to use it, but I wasn't sure like how exactly to use it. So I thought, you know what? I could totally cut this and do like a diagonal thing like I did with the boxes. And I'm kind of sad I didn't think to do that with the other stamp from the kit on the other page, like in the first half of the week, but I still wanted to do it anyway because I just really loved it. It took me a little while to figure out how on earth I wanted to do it. And for a minute, I thought I wasn't going to be able to. And then I was like, duh, Cassie, just put them on the opposite sides of what you had because I wanted the icons to flow properly and it wasn't flowing the way I had it. And then I realized I could just switch the sides I had the boxes on. Sometimes my brain is like, this was the end of the spread. I was done with my creativity. So I did that. And then I was like, okay, baseball bat, like this will work perfectly as far as like the size of it. And so I just pulled in a swatch from the kit and pulled that underneath. And I really like how that came out and put the White Deer Stationery baseball bat in there. And then underneath that, I was going to mark that I did an Instagram post. I pulled in that Crafts by Towie Instagram icon and used a swatch from the kit for that. And then I pulled in some florals on the bottom just to kind of line that with, and I don't know, I loved how the florals were. I love the florals in this kit, and so I just wanted to add more, but it looks like before I did that, I decided that I wanted to add a little bit of something underneath that swatch box. So I used those dividers that I had used on the full boxes, just to put underneath the box, and kind of like you do with like the torn paper journaling stuff. Did the same concept, but just did it underneath the swatch box and layered it underneath to add a little pop of foil in there, and then added a bee, of course, because I have bees everywhere in the spread, which makes me so happy. And then I just added a little bow from Sadies Stickers onto the bat. She also has some of my favorite little bows. They don't go in different directions like the My Newest Addiction ones do, but they are like the perfect tiny straight bow to add to things. So it was perfect because I felt like the different side ones or whatever, like the side bows wouldn't necessarily go as cute on the bat, but that one was like perfect for the middle of it. So pulled in one of those, and then that's where I added some of the florals. And then I decided to do this. I also really loved how I layered this. This was another one of my favorites in this spread. See, the creativity came eventually, you guys. Maybe not my date covers, but it came eventually. I decided to use the same dot dash divider, like the bee trail looking thing, to line the inside of the stamp box, and I'm obsessed with how that came out. So I was really happy with that like idea that popped in my head. Let me know if you get like that. Like, do you ever have an idea while you're planning where you're like, oh my God, this is the best idea ever? I totally did. So let me know if you feel that way sometimes when you're planning and you're like, wow, good job, brain. I really like that idea. So here, what I was doing, so at the end of my spread, I kind of just go through when I'm done with all the basics, just so that I don't get super hung up during the spread sometimes. I will go back through and just add some tiny foil accents throughout, where I can kind of look at it and go, okay, where am I missing some foil or some accents? Like, what do I need to add? And just add like those finishing touches. So that's basically what I'm doing here. I pulled in some more honeycomb, some more bees. I used some tiny little bees off of the, it wasn't like a sampler, but it kind of was. So I think it was May Mystery. When was the mystery kit for Sadie Stickers? That was like the bee. It was pink and yellow. I did a plan with me with that one. But anyway, she had like a little sampler page from that, and it had all these tiny little bee, like cluster bees. So I pulled in some of those as well. I really try to use up like my samplers if I can before I pull from my regular pages, because then I can get through them, because sometimes it's like you use some and then you have the rest just hanging out forever and a day. So I pulled in some of those, and then there's one of those Sadie Stickers bows. That's when I added that to the little tux thing there, and then I added some more of the little bee trails because I thought those were super fun as well, and I really just wanted to go all out with all of the bee stuff. So I did pull that one in over, which box was it? Oh, I'm on the wrong page, sorry. Over that, like with the wasp nest in their room, I wanted to add a little bit of like a bee trail because I thought that's kind of appropriate because we were chasing wasps out the house. I said I wasn't going to say that word anymore, you guys. And then these are the tiny little dot clusters from Sadies Stickers. These are some of my favorite ways to just add a little bit of sparkle. There's that sampler page I was talking about with the little itty bitty bees. I just used a ton of those and like used up a lot on that sheet to add some more foil, but make it bees, right? Why not make it bees? So yeah, that's pretty much everything in this spread here. Oh, I think I forgot to mention when I was going through that, but you can see it in this shot here. Oh, there was that. That's what I was doing. I lost a dot. I lose those dots, and I was like, I know it's on this page. On the bottom washi, I did line that with the dotted bee like trail thing, whatever it is, the dotted dash one. I lined each side of the small one, so it's like in between all the washies, and then lined the bottom, and I love how that came out too. So those bottom washi things are like, well, it's not just bottom washi, but like the washi, foiled washi strips that we have going on in the community right now. Just absolutely loving those, and like, I don't know, just the extra added touch of foil in the bottom washi. It just is giving so much more variety and like ability to be differently create differently. I don't know. You guys, I'm tired. It's been a long week. And we're going to see a movie tonight at 10:30. We're going to see Oppenheimer, and it's a 3-hour movie, and we're going at 10:30 at night. So I'm going to need a nap. Like, I'm too old for this. But we're going with my entire family, which is going to be really nice because my son moves out on Monday. My daughter moves out in 2 weeks, and we're going to do one last hurrah, like big family thing. So here's a wiggle of each page so you can see with all the foil. I just absolutely love how this came out. Even though it started out rough for me, I'm so happy my creativity kicked in, and I really enjoyed it. This is the leftovers from the kit and the olive planner pages I pulled in, and that is everything. So thank you guys so much for joining me. If you're not following me on Instagram, go check out my Instagram, Sweet Like Honey Plans. Join in on this Spread the Love. This was my focus spread for Sadies Stickers. Who won? Plan with K from on Instagram won the $100 shop credit. This week, right now that we're in, as I'm filming this, $50 shop credit to Letters to Apollo. And yeah, next week will be Hello Petite Paper, and we'll have some shop credit there too. So join me on Instagram. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out. I will have another plan with me up this coming week. Bye, guys.